Welcome to the Case Study Learning Series in Human Resource Management by Skilled MBA. In this session, we analyze how Haidilao, China's renowned hotpot chain, strategically responded to the pandemic through contraction and regional restructuring. We'll examine how human resource systems, data-driven decision-making, and organizational agility enabled the company to weather crisis conditions and position itself for recovery. This case focuses on Haidilao's strategic journey during the pandemic and begins with four essential learning objectives. First, we will examine strategic decisions made by Haidilao during one of the most challenging times in modern business history. From rapid expansion to strategic contraction, we analyze how the company adapted its operating model to survive and stabilize. Second, we'll evaluate adaptability, how Haidilao's organizational culture and leadership mindset enabled resilience in the face of extreme disruption. This section offers insight into agility at both the corporate and regional levels. Third, we aim to understand regional management. You'll see how Haidilao moved from centralized control to a more flexible, decentralized system, empowering regional units and their HR teams with greater autonomy. And finally, we will extract crisis management lessons. These are not just theories, but transferable strategies that can guide any organization navigating uncertainty, volatility, or large-scale operational change. Together, these themes will help us explore how human resource leadership, data-driven restructuring, and cultural intelligence enabled one of China's largest restaurant chains to rebound from crisis. Let's begin. Haidilao's story begins in Sichuan, China, as a small hotpot restaurant. From there, it grew rapidly across China and international markets, becoming a major global player. At its pre-pandemic peak, Haidilao was highly valued and aggressively expanding, but when the pandemic hit, it faced unprecedented operational and financial disruption. Before COVID-19, Haidilao operated 935 total restaurants, with 768 in mainland China and 167 internationally. With over 20% annual growth, their strategy was rooted in speed and scale. However, this aggressive approach left them vulnerable to market shocks and operational inefficiencies when the pandemic hit. The pandemic struck Haidilao's business hard. Sales dropped significantly as dine-in services were restricted. Profit margins contracted as fixed costs remained high. This shock forced Haidilao to reassess its footprint and consider a major strategic pivot. Haidilao responded with a focused four-part strategy: strategic contraction, closing underperforming stores to stabilize operations; financial stabilization, implementing cost controls and increasing efficiency; store portfolio review, evaluating each location based on performance metrics; regional management, restoring local authority to enable faster adaptation. This approach marked a decisive shift from centralized expansion to selective optimization. The Woodpecker Project was Haidilao's internal initiative to identify and close failing outlets. A data-driven approach used metrics like sales, traffic, and cost ratios. Closures were phased over 6 months to minimize brand and market disruption. Resources were reallocated. Staff and assets from closed stores were reassigned to more profitable locations. This enabled targeted pruning without damaging the brand's core value. Stores were evaluated across 5 key metrics: profitability, below 8% net margin for 3 quarters; customer traffic, 30% plus sustained drop in visits; location quality, declining footfall in surrounding areas; property costs, rent exceeding 15% of store revenue; recovery potential, post-COVID growth projections below company average. These criteria ensured that decisions were objective, not emotional. Before the pandemic, Haidilao operated under centralized control. Post-crisis, they restored regional authority to empower local teams, tailor strategies to market-specific needs, increase accountability with region-level performance metrics. This shift led to faster responses and better market fit. Haidilao structured its operations into 4 regions: East Asia, China mainland, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, Americas, US, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Europe, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Southeast Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam. This enabled tailored strategies and region-specific execution, a critical advantage during pandemic recovery. Following contraction and restructuring, Haidilao saw improved profit margins due to reduced operational drag, lower operating costs through efficiency initiatives. These financial indicators validated the effectiveness of scaling back with discipline rather than expanding recklessly. Several internal initiatives improved operations, streamlined menus, reduced inventory by 30%, focusing on top-selling items. Staff optimization, cross-trained roles, improved scheduling, and retained top talent. Digital integration, expanded online ordering, contactless payment, and delivery partnerships. Supply chain resilience, diversified suppliers, and implemented regional sourcing. Together, these changes improved agility and efficiency. To maintain brand loyalty during the crisis, Haidilao implemented strong health and safety protocols, expanded digital engagement via apps and social channels, launched take-home product lines for home dining, introduced loyalty programs to reward repeat customers. These initiatives ensured customer trust and ongoing engagement, even when dine-in traffic dropped. This case offers 4 powerful lessons. Strategic contraction can create value. Shrinking can be a growth strategy when done with precision. Data-driven decisions are essential. Objective metrics guard against emotional decisions. Regional autonomy enhances responsiveness. Decentralized authority improves local adaptation. Flexibility beats rigid planning. The ability to reverse direction is a strategic strength, not a weakness. These principles apply across sectors: retail, optimize store locations, digitize experiences, manufacturing, consolidate production, diversify suppliers, hospitality, reassess properties, and customize service models. The core message: strategic agility and localization improve resilience, whatever the industry. Haidilao's journey through the pandemic showcases the power of strategic contraction, data-driven evaluation, and localized leadership. From a position of vulnerability, it carved a path to resilience through adaptive restructuring, offering a rich model for companies navigating crises. Thank you for joining this edition of the Case Study Learning Series in Human Resource Management by Skilled MBA.